leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, yo. A-side official, no negotiation needed, period. You already know CW is the first in the building. What it do, man? What's going on? Appreciate the supporters pulling up as always. Yeah, we got some a little bit of discussion to take care of as boxing fans, grown men and women, of course. Shout out to my guy Haynes Legacy on deck. What it do, Haynes? Always blessings to see you in the building. You know what I'm saying? God bless, brother. Hope you're doing well. And for those others, please continue your prayers for Haynes Legacy to get better in life. You know, speedy recovery, big dog. Carlos Rosado on deck. What it do, Carlos? What's up? AB in the building. I see you. So we have a situation that's materializing into something, right? You know, whatever the social media algorithm has out there for y'all, and you know, whatever you've been reading or listening to. As you all know, there's a time where I start pushing for Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson to fight. Nobody else was pushing for them to fight. All they was doing is picking up that harmonica and playing that good old country song. And tomorrow, they some good old friends back then, and they never gonna fight. And they, you know what I'm talking about. They was giving you old country bumpkin jamboree. They're brothers. They're brothers. Why y'all always trying to get them to fight? They're brothers. That's all I was hearing. And I said, you know, for them to be brothers, they should know what money looks like and what it would smell like. You know what I'm saying? And being that they worked so hard up to this point as Olympians, both silver standard champions, that would never go away, to now becoming both world champions in the same division. I'm thinking genuinely it'll be good money and it'll be very, very solid entertainment when it comes to the equity, the technical equity that both of these fighters possess between one another. Both of them are highly skilled fighters. I give the edge to Shakur, of course, because he has the better resume with 3 divisions in the game, and he has way more experience than Keyshawn. But the reason why it makes sense right now is because they are accessible to one another. They are accessible. And it's unfortunate that when you put stuff out there, people have to wait to the group get a hold of it, scramble it up a little bit, tell a friend who know a friend, and start trying to come up with the same stale narrative. Oh man, Keyshawn beefing with Shakur. Why can't it just be, why don't they fight each other? Why does it always have to be, oh man, so-and-so don't like each other? I told you all months ago that Keyshawn Davis get it. I've been making a big deal out of this. Keyshawn gets and have the understanding because his alias is Business Key. That's his alias, Business Key. Shout out to the super chat, man. CW left a $5 super chat. Thanks for always supporting the channel, CW. You already know, one love, brother. Shout out to Haynes Legacy with the $5 in the Cash App. One love to you, brother. Always. Thanks for your support as always. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for those who support the Cash App and the Super Chat. It's truly appreciated. Salute to C Wood in the building. I see you. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I appreciate both of y'all. I appreciate both of y'all. Real talk. I don't want the hottest chat in the MF and gang to be, going at each other with blades. It could get like that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But back to the whispers though. Keyshawn and Shakur. I want you to listen to some audio of a previous live that I did when I was talking about this situation when others was up here trying to turn into a reality show. They was trying to talk about their brothers, man. They're brothers. Leave them alone, man. They're brothers. But they happen to be brothers that box. They happen to be brothers that have different daddies and different mommies. So there's room for separation. You know what I'm saying? Don't have to do anything about Siamese twins here. We're talking about brothers that didn't even cut their wrists and put it together and say we're blood brothers for life. They didn't even go through the extreme. There's no freaking evidence of that. But I want to let you listen to this live stream that I did, speaking of Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson. People talking about my buddy, your buddy. We both have a buddy together. My buddy. You up here talking about the buddy system. Somebody tell Keyshawn to get off the buddy system, y'all. Keyshawn Davis say he don't need Javante Davis. He's more popular. He's feeling himself, and that's cool. But tell him to get off the buddy system. You have a champion that's in your division that has a belt already, and you on the buddy system. Give it up for the buddy system, y'all. We need more buddies in boxing. We need more motherfucking buddies in boxing. Give it up, a buddy system. Goddamn 2025. I can imagine what that buddy system is going to be when you really sit down one day and a family member going to tell you. Probably Keon, the one who just came in here and got his debut, right? Who won his debut. Salute to the youngin'. He gonna say, hey, bro, big bro, can I holler at you? Hey, man, I was just thinking, man. You start to navigate your way through the 135-pound landscape. And I was saying to myself, man, why can't y'all just, you and your boy fight each other? What you mean? What you mean, my boy? What you mean, my boy? Ain't nobody my boy. Shakur Stevenson. Oh, that's my bro. But hey, dude, you just did $1 million at the gate. What's to get the fight? That's an easier fight for you to make. Why don't you make that fight happen? Man, fuck all that buddy shit, dog. We trying to change lives over here in the Davis family. We trying to get paid. It's business key. Hey, Lil Bro need to break it down. Maybe Key listen to Lil Bro. And Lil Bro come up there, maybe Key listen. Lil Bro can break it down because you know how the youngins, they be on the outside observing. They be sponging everything up. I think you need Keon to tell you some shit like, hey, man, you throwing away millions of dollars because you have a money fight right here in front of your face, but you up here want to sing along. My buddy, your buddy. Ain't nobody trying to hear that buddy system shit. Ain't nobody trying to hear that when you got a bona fide legitimate champion right there at 135 and you up here saying, I want Tank. I don't need Tank. I want to fight Tank. I don't need Tank. I'm more popular than Tank. I want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. I don't need him, but I want to fight him. I don't need him, but I want to fight him though. Make up your motherfucking mind. See, this live right here is simply me, trying to get it out there that this is a very interesting fight in many ways than one. And that one being that both of those individuals have Olympic pedigree. They both were successful in becoming silver medalists They are respected in the pro ranks higher than most due to that Olympic achievement. Right now in the pro ranks, they sign checks. In the pro ranks, you sign checks. And what did I say? I said there's gonna come a situation where mama, Miss Davis, the manager, may have just an informal dialogue while they just sitting at home chilling. I said she may bring it to Keyshawn's attention that this is what we worked all that hard work and dedication, hours and hours and hours. Me sitting at your amateur tournaments, me going through. Hey, parents sacrifice a lot, right? And she might start to have this discussion. A Marvelous one at that, and may raise an eyebrow. See, them spinning it and trying to push this agenda as to say that once again, two black fighters have to beef to make the fight the way it's supposed to. Keyshawn, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence weren't really beefing like that to make the fight worth anything. I mean, the public wanted to see it. The public wants to see this fight. They do. Because when you keep on mentioning Tank's name and the fight fans don't know if it's ever going to happen, it's only so many fairy tale chapters that we're willing to read. We don't have time to be talking about fantasy. We want to hear about and talk about fights that's actually going to happen. That's the sum. Then you have those who just want to hang around and think that this is a good time to waste 5 or 6 more hours of their day talking about something and all the ins and outs and pros and cons of, hey man, what do y'all think about Shakur and Tank? What do you think about Keyshawn and Tank? It's all right. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And people go on a whole big damn excursion trying to break down how beneficial a fight would be between Tank and either Shakur or Keyshawn. But they're trying to push beef. Same dried up, stale avenue of approach. They trying to push beef, y'all. What happened initially? What happened? I told you all about how Keyshawn popped up over there at Turkey Alley Sheik signing that sponsorship deal, right? And this is during the process of when Turkey Alley Sheik was pretty much dismissing Shakur Stevenson and saying, you're not going to fight on all cards anymore. Forget what you just, you're not going to publicly denigrate me. I'm not the average brother on the street over there. What's wrong with you? I'm not from Brick City. Turkey say, I operate off different rules over here. I don't know what you're talking about. But you seem to have very minimal knowledge about the hierarchy here. And look, if Turkey uttered those words, I can agree with him, because Shakur has to understand that he may not have seen or considered the hand that was potentially feeding him as important. He may have thought on a higher level that he was a bit more of royalty when it came down to it. He must have thought that. He must have exacerbated the entire picture with an incredible zoom lens, right? But he found out, and Turkey said nope. So Turkey go and get 2 of his partners. That's how they do us. Turkey went and got 2 of his partners that was black. He scooped up Abdullah Mason and Keyshawn Davis. Before you know it, Keyshawn's in a frame, snapshot. Keyshawn's in a snapshot, y'all. The Turkey Alley Sheik with a sponsorship deal. And Shakur is up there, huh? What? People are there tearing, lighting up Shakur's freaking DMs. Hey, your brother just signed a sponsorship deal. Dude, I thought y'all was brothers. Y'all supposed to stand up for each other, right? That's what leads me to this right here. Now they're trying to say Keyshawn is feeling some type of way about Shakur Stevenson, somewhat having a cordial friendship with a fighter that he was cool with in the beginning anyway. Richardson Hitchin, aka Africa, right? They're trying to push this agenda that Keyshawn saying both of y'all ninjas are weird, you know. And at one point in time, if you look back at this interview, I think it was on Fight Hype, Shakur said, you know, I don't really effort him like that. And I'm like, damn, you don't F with Africa for what? I mean, what did he do? And then now I guess they getting back on good terms. They got back in good terms, and Keyshawn don't like that. Well, good old combat. I'll bring it to Keyshawn's attention. How can you feel some type of way when you should have stood on all 10 toes when Turkey dismissed Shakur Stevenson? If you was really that brother, you should have said, no, Turkey, even though there's really good money, I'm going to stick by my buddy, because it's nothing like showing loyalty to my buddy. That's what Keyshawn should have stood up when Turkey threw all that money in his face for sponsorship deal. He should have just said, hey, I can do this on my own without Turkey. If Tank believes in himself, well, hell, I believe in myself. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand by my buddy. I didn't see that, Keyshawn. I didn't see that. I did not see that when Shakur was banished temporarily. He was banished from the Ring magazine while the ringmaster himself pulled some strings and ended up getting Abdullah Mason and Keyshawn Davis on deck, knowing that social media was lava hot, with Turkey putting that tweet out there that Shakur Stevenson will not be competing for the Ring magazine on Riyadh season and none of future cards. Oh man, his joint was blowing up. But then Keyshawn turned around after he was there taking a picture. He was bubbling over inside. He was bubbling over. Now you're gonna get mad that Shakur is a grown man with a family. Both of y'all have families. That y'all up here doing little boy shit. Friend. Oh, y'all some weird. Whoever would have thought the word weird would be conveyed over and over the way it is now. It's just over and over and over. Like, I mean, it's just like an ashtray, bro. That junk, it's always gonna show up, and you're gonna get the same visual. Weird. It's nothing good about the word weird. Man, y'all weird. Oh, man, you weird. Who would have thought? I don't see where Keyshawn has any room to say anything about him talking to Richardson Hitchens. But combat, I would like to say this to both of y'all. I hope y'all come around sometime or another, change up their behavior a little bit, and step in the ring together and make that money together. Because like I said Keyshawn get it. I mentioned Keyshawn gets it before Shakur. Shakur, I don't know if it may be a lack of loyalty, but I'm just saying Keyshawn comes off to me as that type of fighter, or that type of person that will get it. He will be more inclined to take the 3 steps forward to try to make a fight with Shakur, especially if Turki Al-Sheikh is now piloted. He's the pilot of the Ring Express. That's big money. Look at Shakur. He had to do damage control and return back over there. Now this man is about to get $5 million or whatever. He's about to get paid a good heavy bag, if you know what I mean. Stuff with, a couple of million. That's what I'm talking about. So if he can make that amount of money going in there and fighting William Cepeda, imagine what type of money he can make fighting Keyshawn Davis. Imagine what type of money Keyshawn can make fighting Shakur Stevenson. I mean, you're trying to tell me as a human being, right? Just 1 to 2 human beings. You're trying to tell me that you're mentally incapable of saying, let's go get this money and give them a show. I'm not saying have a knock them out, drag out fight, and get this money, put on a show, and laugh about it later. You trying to tell me you have such an IQ in the ring, but your IQ is somewhat fragmented outside the ropes because your maturity boundaries, your firewalls, your maturity firewalls won't let in certain thoughts and decisions cross the synapses. That's what you're trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me is you're incapable of processing the benefits of making money with each other? That's lunacy. Both of these fighters know it is. If you all are trying to sort of kind of build this up, the old fashioned way, always beef, beef, beef. Okay, cool. But I did want to put it out there. I mentioned it. I said these two should fight. It's not that difficult. It's not like both of you all haven't been in big fights. Both of you all are currently sitting as a world champion. A lot of boxing fans, the ones who may deem this to be unfair, are casuals. They're casuals, man. For real. They're casuals. Don't consider them to be a serious a serious concern of yours. They're just casuals. They may go on here and act like they praising you, but they're casuals. You all are old enough and experienced enough to go in here and make this money and give the fight fans what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's enough debates. Where are all the debate clubs right now? Y'all should be talking about this fight, because after Crawford goes in there and beat up on Canelo, we're going to need another big fight on the horizon. And this is something that'll look real tantalizing in 2026. Yes, sir. This fight is going to look real salivating in 2026 if they can make it happen. Yes, sir. I think it'll be very, very good and productive if more channels start to talk about the fight simply based off the competitive appraising value of both fighters. You know what I'm saying? What they've accomplished up to this point, how they match up very, very well technical, technique wise. I mean, it is a solid competitive matchup that doesn't need ample amount of years to mature and marinate and all that. This is something that can happen at the first semester of 2026. It doesn't need to be bottled up in a spear that you shake up and you see all the Christmas sprinkles and to my, oh man, I wish I can just get inside and just swim around. It looks so euphoric. Oh man, I like the aura of shaking this ball up, and man, why can't we just have this fight? You know what I'm saying? Why can't I wish upon a star? Well, I'm calling on the content creators out there to speak this fight into existence without trying to make it all nasty. You know what I'm saying? Malicious. Trying to make these fighters out to hate each other. That's the same song and dance, man. The boxing cannot be this restricted when it comes to flexibility on how you go about the creativity of bringing something to the light. It cannot be stunt like this. It cannot be, bro. As long as boxing's been in the game, man, It has to be what's in the food. Shout out to Blue in the building. I see you. Jay in the building. What's good? What's good? Salute the Hangs Leg. He said, I'll match every $2, but in the Cash App. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that. And for those of you that may not know my Cash App, because I don't put it up much, but I do appreciate the ones who donate to my Cash App. That's my Cash App right there. And thanks for those who support. I want to let y'all listen to another audio clip, okay? And this audio clip is from Mill City. And if y'all haven't heard, Jahi Tucker has a fight coming up on the horizon, right? Is this fight another fight where someone is speaking, something to existence? You know what I'm saying? Is it another fight where they're trying to put Jahi Tucker in a predicament? Allegedly, yeah, supposedly. I mean, he's had a very tough lineup from Troy Williamson to Madera to Fernandez, you know what I'm saying? Lavelias to Veron to Flash to Seknashvili. He's fought his fights. Jahi Tucker's been put up there for a reason, as far as a fighter that's being lined up, but he keeps knocking them down. Next in line is Lorenzo Simpson. Okay. I don't have anything bad to say about Lorenzo Simpson, except there's a lot of chatter that's been going around. This guy just came off a win of a 6-rounder. Okay. Back in February 2025. He's been inconsistent, intermittent in his boxing career. He's been like that low wattage bub I love speaking about, that's sitting in the warehouse. And it comes on every now and then, but it don't light up anything except a little small proximity and radius of what that bulb is. It's probably like a 30-watt bulb. Okay. It's not, I mean, his resume ain't lighting up too much. But now they want to get behind him because he's set to face Jahi Tucker. Jahi Tucker's last fight was 10 rounds. And the one before that, 8 round. And what I'm trying to say is he's been fighting 8-rounders consistently. Okay. Ever since he moved up from the 6-rounders, which used to be the 4-rounders. Okay. But I don't want to hold you. Once again, salute to those who donated to the channel and the Cash App. One love, much appreciated. We're going to listen to what Kenny Ellis had to say. Okay. We're going to listen to what Kenny Ellis had to say about Truck Simpson. And this is a reaction. This is Mill City's audio. Okay.
For sure. I also heard some good news too with Lorenzo as well.
I got it now, Mill City. I don't think you feel so kindly about Jahi Tucker. He said he had some good news. Somehow, some way, I don't know if he's from around the DMV area, Baltimore, but when Jahi came on your show and did the interview, you didn't seem too enthusiastic. You did it, in the car. I don't know. Mill City, like I said, I don't have no smoke with Mill. It's just some of the interviews just a little shaky. When you come off and say, you heard some good news, it's almost like you're on that wagon too. You're pushing that. You're trying to push that Jahi Tucker wagon directly into a brick wall. It seems like you're hating a little bit. hearing good news and to say what you were saying about Truck Simpson, that's crazy because you had your high on your channel, on your show, but yet it seems like you're trying to run the blade from 12 to 6, 9 to 3.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, listen. He training at home. Watch what he do to this kid, man.
Ooh, I'm excited for that fight.
When I heard that, Mill, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why would you be excited for that fight? Like you're not new. You're not a tyro to the boxing game. So why would you be excited for the fight? The only assumption that I can come up with is that you excited for the fight because you want to see Jahi take a loss, a legitimate loss. That's what you want to you want to see. I mean, because you're smiling and you're telling Kenny Ellis that you're excited for a fight, but I'm not sure as to where your excitement is coming from. Is it coming from an ominous place of shade and darkness? This what I'm trying to discover.
Jahi Tucker and my man Lorenzo Truck Simpson. Like, yo.
Y'all heard him, right? He said, my man Lorenzo Truck Simpson. So he has the favoritism. He has the canopy. He has the flag flying high in the sky. That's what he's supporting. That's where it's at. He said his man, Lorenzo Simpson.
That little like back and forth and the way that Lorenzo just sent them a contract like that, like F all this talking.
He gonna match that kid, man.
Yeah.
He gonna match that kid. When fighters train other places, I don't speak on it because I don't get in their business. They got their own thing. But when I know what's going on, I can speak on it. And Truck gonna match that kid.
Sometimes I go to my very resourceful dictionary, okay, for some words that I may totally get it, what the definition may be, but sometime with my people, I have to look up the slang dictionary, mash. I'm just looking this over, right? Jahi Tucker has a total of 16 fights, right? 14 1-1, 6 knockouts, right? And I'm saying to myself, mash. Are we talking about the type of mash that Seknashvili had going into the second round when he buzzed Jahi in the first? Is he talking about that mash? What mash are you talking about? Is it a different type of mash that I don't see on his resume? Who has mashed him? Are you talking about Francisco Verón? Because we all know that Lorenzo Simpson is not on the level of a Francisco Verón. He's not on the level of a Nicholas Flass. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to play. Like, what does mash mean? I'm trying to figure out alternate definitions when you say mash, because I just don't see where the curriculum fits what you're trying to teach, what you're trying to convince the listeners to believe. Where does it say? What chapter again? Where can I find this in the boxing index, please?
Do you feel like when I was talking to him, do you feel like this is going to put him back into the discussions of like top 15?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Look, this is what I despise. I despise it with Deontay Wilder when Fury did it. I despise this sense of thinking. This sense of thinking is a learned behavior. It's called biasness. It's called selective amnesia. I despise this type of behavior. What the behavior I'm talking about? You will say that a certain set name fighter is not good. This fighter is not good at all. He's not this. He's not that. You see them showing out. Okay, you know they're a complete fighter. You know they're a high praise for certain fighters, right? But they may not be as popular yet in the pupil of the fight fans. Mill City asks, do you think this will put him back in the rankings? How in the hell does that work? Somebody explain this to me. Mill City, once again, This is just a reaction. How does that work, Mill City? How can you say if he beats Jihad Tucker, it puts him back into the rankings? Please, can you elucidate? Please elucidate that for me. That means clarify more in depth as to how you can say that will put him back in the rankings. Let me redirect traffic. When Jihad Tucker beats Simpson, will Jahi move up in the rankings? Because something ain't math in here. You're saying if he beats Jahi, obviously you're trying to say we won't vocally, we're refusing to vocally give Jahi his flowers. We see what Jahi's been doing out here, but we're not going to give him his flowers. We're not going to give him any type of chavot, praise. We're not going to give him any plaudits. No compliments over here. We're just going to continue to say, hey, man, our fighter's been training at home, and he's going to mash this kid. Do you think it'll put him back in the rankings? How, though? How does it put him back in the rankings? Because I need to know if Jahi, when Jahi beats Simpson, what does it put him in the rankings? Because I don't see the fairness in one fighter having the key and the other fighter having no key at all. They have to try to throw a stone through the window and wait and look left or right. Is the coast clear? Is the coast clear? Okay, let me try to jump in there once again. Let me try to challenge a fighter once again. Let me try to call out a fighter once. No, I ain't gonna do that no more. Because they trying to straight up shelf me and blackball me. I ain't gonna do that no more. How can a fighter get a key for trying to say you're gonna be the fighter which you provide I'm talking about low level credibility as a fighter. But yet, if you get the win, you get rewarded. I despise of that. I despise of that type of behavior. That thought process to me in boxing, it needs to go away and stay away. Because if you ever want to hear a person speak with I'm talking about pure, sour, tart ignorance, listen to somebody dog out one fighter, but yet if another fighter beats them, all of a sudden you're co-signing that fighter who won to get more of a reward than you was willing to get the fighter that they just beat. How does that work? That makes no sense at all. That's all I'm saying. That makes no sense to me, Mill City. That's all I'm saying, man. That makes no sense to me for you to propose that question without proposing the same for Jihad Tucker. Are you going to have Jihad back on the show before his fight? Are you going to have Jihad back on the show before June 21st? I mean, I would like to hear what he has to say. I would like to hear you ask them the same questions. Hey, Jihad, when I heard this fight, I was happy. You know why? Because Lorenzo Simpson, that's my guy. That's my guy. And if he beats you, oh, man, he's probably going to get thrown back in the rankings. It's wild, man.
So, yeah.
This is big because, this is a kid that, arguably, supposedly supposed to be undefeated still. In the same time, signed to Jay Prince, top ranked fighter. Lorenzo per se is the B-side in this fight, correct?
That's what they say. The kid is signed, so I'm sure they favor the kid.
But in the same time, Lorenzo got a big name as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of weighs in. It's kind of weighs in the same.
Does it now? To those scholars in the chat, does it weigh into you all? I'm just curious. What do you mean weighing in? What are we saying weighing in? So now we're gonna look at a fighter who's had some of the grandest fights on ESPN. I mean, some of the grandest fights, some of the grandest performances. I'm talking about an engine that never looks like it's quitting. Punch combinations, movement, defense. You know what I'm saying? It's electric boogie all night. But you hear somebody say they kind of balance themselves. When did that happen though? When did that start happening? You basically minimize him being signed to Jay Prince and him being a signed fighter, and you somewhat partially recognizing him being the A side. But when it comes to the B side of Lorenzo Simpson, you said he has a big name. Where? You talking about when they was over there about the fight and they was trying to get a fighter to fight for $1? When he was over there with DHP? I mean, if he's such a big name, why didn't anything, elevate from there? Why wasn't he able to ascend when he was over there? Come on, man. How does this work? Man, this is dirty, dirty work right here, man. This is a dirty game. For real. This is the dirty game, man. Mill City, you know better. You know better than to say things like this. You know they don't balance themselves out. How can this dude has a big name? Nobody talks about him, man. I'm not saying he's a bad dude in general, but nobody's talking about Truck Simpson, man. Maybe at one point in time early in his career, but he hasn't proven to be consistent. And Kenny, I know he said that he's training at home. What does that mean, though? What does that mean?
Kind of. I understand what you're saying. Tell me, what do you think about that fight with them two? You saying to smash them? Are you predicting a stoppage?
Come on, Mill. Dude. Look, I don't think Mill, I don't think MCB, I don't think he's really paid attention nor did he care to look at any of Jahi's fights. Real talk. And this is just a reaction. This is just boxing. This is a 10-round fight, y'all. This is a 10-round fight. And you're asking this man, do he believes that Truck Simpson will stop a fighter who's been in there with the heavyweight? He was in there with Nico Seknashvili, who fought as high as 177 in his career. Y'all always love talking about fighters and what divisions they fought. Yes, this man early in his career fought as high as light heavyweight. And here you have a welterweight moving up to 54, fighting a guy that was ranked in the top 5 at 160, crushed him. He's never been the same. Seen him down here at OTX get whipped. And that's after he came down to 154 trying to beat up Tucker. And you're saying, MCB, that he gets the stoppage? I know what this is. I know what this is, brother. That's all it is. All you're doing is just you kicking it. That's all you're doing. You're just kicking it. It's just banter. That's all.
I don't want to say my predictions, but you'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Just to hear you guys are all locked in. That's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's next week.
Yeah? No.
No, my bad. That's in June.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No. That's in June. I'm sorry. Yeah. June 21st, I believe, right?
Yeah, June 21st.
Right.
Oh my goodness, man.
Do you feel like Jahi said it was going to be a massacre? He told me it was going to be a massacre. It's not going to be a fucking good fight. He told me, because I told him it's going to be a good fight, and he said no, it's not going to be a good fight. Shout
out to Jahi. That's one thing he is very guilty of. You know what I'm saying? He's very guilty of telling you what's on his mind. He's guilty of telling you what's on his mind. And he says it's going to be a massacre. But this right here, yeah, we all looking forward to this fight.
He'll see. It's not going to be good for him. You know what I'm saying?
I don't believe you, Kenny.
Did Lorenzo tell you about the sparring?
Fight talk, Yeah.
Did Lorenzo tell you about the sparring and the whole situation of how this fight got made?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they sparred, and Jahi said that he got the better of Truck in sparring, and some of the other guys on Rodney Shields' stable, and he told me that's not true, and he sent them a contract.
See, you know how MCB has the whole layout, line for line, on how this whole so-called on this conversation, this verbal jousting online, this social media verbal jousting online, right? This sparring, this verbal sparring took place. He knows where is the origins from sparring. We hear it all the time. The origins are from sparring, right? He's breaking it down line for line, yo, about why this and that transpired and all that. And look, this is a prime example on what takes place in boxing all the time when it comes to the media. Bias is never going anywhere. It's no vaccine you can take. There are always going to be individuals, include myself, that basically vocalize their favorite. But I try not to vocalize the bias to a point where I'm being disingenuous, absolutely disingenuous. Like having fighters on your platform and then, speaking of them when they're not present. That's one thing I can say about what the Normans did with everybody else, Greg Hackett and all them. They was pretty much, all consolidated. They pretty much, was talking on the platforms. Senior would go up there with people that was all up on the platform and would talk his shit. This, on the other hand, is you having fighters on your platform and you're really putting it out there and letting people know blatantly that you don't mess with them like that. Like, these are people that know about boxing. They understand what boxing about. But everything a fighter that's been on your platform has said, like he said, it's going to be a massacre, or, you're speaking for a third party. You saying, Jahi went up there and some sparring took place. Well, it's okay for everybody to believe that when Boots spar people, it's okay when Tank, and it's okay when Shakur and Keyshawn and everybody else that has sparring stories. But now all of a sudden, Jahi of all people, he's a star pupil when it comes to lying. Because Truck Simpson said it wasn't true. Of course he's not going to admit to it. Of course he's not.
It was perfect. He said that he was one of the names, and he said, shit, this is killing two birds with one stone type deal. And this is how that fight even became what it was. It was going back and forth with negotiations. Jahi wanted more money to fight Truck, and I'm glad that this fight was able to be made. But yeah, what's your thoughts on at least Jahi and what's his capabilities? What does he bring to the table that per se Lorenzo Truck Simpson in his resume right now in the professional rankings hasn't seen?
Nothing. He been here a little over a week now, almost 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Spar his ass now and see the difference.
It's not gonna happen. Okay, come on, bada bing, bada boom. It's not gonna happen. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves. It's not gonna happen. MCB, you know that it's not gonna happen. Kenny Ellis, you know that it's not gonna happen. It's just banter at the end of the day. Him sparring him now is not gonna happen because they both have a fight coming up, and guess what? It's with each other, bro.
He's in shape.
And see the difference.
I like this.
I watched the kid. Since Truck been home, I watched the kid. I never seen him perform, but when I watched him, I'm like, this the kid they're talking about? No.
Who? Not looking past Jahi. Who? What's a fight that you want to see Truck in?
I don't have no particular, name. As long as he stay busy and whatever happens.
Yeah.
He can hold his own.
So it's pretty much disrespectful to ask about a fight you'd like to see him in when he has a tall order. Okay, MCB, he has a tall order on the horizon, schedule, documented, recorded, and it's official. It is official on BoxRec. How dare you attempt to ask of a forecasted fight past the fight that he's not going to get past himself? It doesn't matter if he's training over there for 2 weeks or not. You know who he is. He's been around y'all before. He's been away from you all before. He's back now. Okay, cool. He's just haven't shown that he's him. Simpson hasn't shown that he's him. He definitely ain't shown enough for anyone, not just me, but anyone, to collect criteria to say, well, I give the edge to Laurent. No, nobody's saying that. Everybody's looking at this fight that has a neutral bone marrow in their body. They will sit up here and say, based off my observation and looking at the fights and everything in the film of the top name opponents, obviously Jahi has the better resume, clearly. Okay, clearly with triple, quadruple focals. He has the better resume. To think that you can bring this to favor a B-side fighter who's just coming off a 6th round is incredible. One thing we know Jahi has is incredible cylinders. You know what I'm saying? His engine doesn't run off juiced up gerbils. You know what I'm saying? There's a different type of liquid that he operates off of, somewhat like jet fuel. I mean, if you can hold up the pace, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't see him holding up the pace. I don't see it, bro. I don't see you keeping up. Forget a 60-footer out the hole. Forget a dig. I don't see you in a 10-rounder keeping up that pace that Jahi set. I don't see the respect there for people who's been in boxing as long as they have over there. And there's no disrespect. I'm just saying they're at a point right now where I know they feel some type of way that Jahi has been trash talking. It happens in boxing. Jahi is no different. Simpson's no different. And them talking about sparring, it's no different than anybody else talking about it. Okay, so be it. But there's no way you dare speak of who would you like him to face after this fight. No way. How dare you? You cannot venture into uncharted territories and believe that this is a stepping stone. You've lost your mind. You lost your mind. It's no way that you can even feel comfortable saying something like that. To say that he gets placed back in the rankings. Let's see if Jahi is tossed in the rankings, because his last 5 to 6 opponents, he should have been in the rankings already. But if the question is asked, if Lorenzo defeats Jahi, does that throw him back in the rankings? And Kenny, you said, yeah. How? You all up here saying, oh, this the guy y'all talking about? You're basically trying to bathe him in mud. You're trying to basically modify his skill set down to nothing. You're trying to give him prorated value. And they've been in there and sparred, and it was said that Jahi went in there and wiped his nose. But you're trying to give him prorated value right out the gate.
Like guys like Sugar Shane Mosley Jr.
Yeah, I would love to see that fight.
Right?
Yeah, I would love to see that one.
Yeah, his dad was telling me that nobody wants to fight him. And
he fights 68 or 60.
60.
Nobody want to fight him.
Yeah, he fought at 168 just to fight Gabe Rosado, I believe, and then he went back. But yeah, he's a 60-pounder.
Wow, nobody want to fight him.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna speak on that, but yeah, I would love to see him in Truck fight. That'd be a good fight.
So, tell me, Coach, do you feel like now that hearing that, a lot of people are working together, do you feel like we're going to get the Tank and Shakur fight due to what Turkey was talking about? Do you feel like we can do you think that they can make a deal with everybody together?
I'm gonna leave it like that. But what I will say is, when it comes to boxing, man, these narratives can have very rigid edges. Very rigid. I mean, the way people cut these narratives out and try to pin them to their freaking daily board is crazy. I mean, they have the right of expression. I know I can story tell, and people it'd be pissing people off. But see, me doing storytelling and you just, some of you cats just straight up trying to convince people that, hey, I'm serious on what I'm talking about. You cannot be serious, man. We're looking for that fight too. Yeah, there's an A and a B side. But apart from that, just leaving the alphabet alone, looking at the resumes, come on, the fighter in Jahi Tucker has not showed decline. He showed consistency to go in there and fight opponents that was somewhat measured up to be better than him, and to go in there and hand him a defeat, a clear, concise defeat, instead of a controversial defeat. We're gonna have to definitely see how this play out. The whole process of reasoning and everything that goes along with it, bro. I'm never like shocked when certain people talk about, but I just despise the whole roundup on how a fighter can be of minimal value, very prorated value as a fighter. But to say that, yeah, they're signed, of course, to these people, but yet it balances itself out because this fighter has a name in his hood, has a name in his backyard. You're talking about a fighter who's had some very top-notch entertaining performances on ESPN, vice a fighter that was, up there about to fight on a card where the money wasn't on deck, and they was trying to get Edmund to sign to fight for $1. I mean, it's wild, bro. But it happens. It happens. I've been around the sport long enough to understand that, you cannot put these feelings into certain situations that's extremely over the top. Extremely over the top. But it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. Hey, it's going to be a good fight, man. I can't wait to see what other narratives. I'm kind of curious to see if Jahi is even gonna. If I was Jahi, I wouldn't try to get into a big back and forth with Truck Simpson on anybody's platform leading up to the fight. Just continue to stay locked in, man. Get ready for the fight, and that's that. I mean, because really, you've proven that you're him. Jahi's already proven that. But for people to somehow, just because they understand he's been pushed back in the shadows purposely, that doesn't mean you erase the performances that he's had. That doesn't mean you're going to basically say, no, when I look at him, he still has this and that to work on. He's one of the more entertaining fighters that's in the sport. You have people, this is a perfect example, and let combat allow it to be broken down specifically pro bono. All right. Tuition free. Okay. Jahi, his movement is always towards tyranny, right? It's towards his opponent, whether he's throwing punches or he's closing distance to get on the inside for some dirty boxing, defensive magician, being elusive while still landing effective punches, right? We already know that knockouts is not something that a fighter across the board in 17 divisions are just going in there and cleaning opponents out each and every time they step in the ring. But check this out. If people are going to say that Jahi isn't as popular only because he's being blackballed. Well, check out this. Why are people complaining about and doing live streams trying to dissect and provide you with new so-called discovered prognosis on running of boxing? They're trying to give you some prognosis on the running of boxing. When it comes to Jahi, you don't have to think about that. But you have content creators talking about running. Now, all of a sudden, running is something they want to talk about to force fighters to fight. Don't you know that's been something that's been going on? Y'all wasn't saying that about Willie Pep. Y'all brag about how Willie was so quick and elusive and all that. He won a round, didn't even throw a punch. But now all of a sudden we have people talking about this is the data that I've collected to give you the analytics of what running in boxing consists of. I want to give you a thorough breakdown of running. We have people that's talking about running in boxing. They trying to measure Jamel Charlo. They trying to measure William School. Okay? They used to say Floyd Mayweather was a runner. Now all of a sudden, boxing, they want to wipe their ass again with used toilet paper, bro. You got to be careful about that foul stench. Boxing will bring back stuff that stunk up the place, info that stunk up the place over and over again. This is no different. They want to talk about running, but yet Jahi Tucker don't run. Now they want to talk about referees. They want to have referee Bird on there, and they want to have an expert opinion on running. How can you put restrictions on a fighter movement in the ring just because you don't appreciate it, that your favorite fighter wasn't able to put hands on him? You have people up here that are Canelo fans that feel some type of way that he didn't do enough. No, Skull didn't slow down enough to basically allow the prima donna Canelo Alvarez to land some shots on Skull. How can you come up with what you consider curriculum about running in boxing when you're able to legally move around in the ring? Next, they're going to start to say, well, we are measuring punches and boxing is dangerous. We have a lot of fighters that's unable to get freaking health care when the sport is over for them. So we want to kind of open up a seminar and teach these fighters how to pour their punches and don't put 100% effort into their power punches no more. We want them to stand straight up and erect when they're throwing those punches. Don't sit on your punches no more. Don't pivot. You know what I'm saying? Don't pivot that lead leg. Don't pivot that rear. No. Pretty much try to sabotage yourself. Pull your punches a little bit. We want to basically provide a more sustainable career for professional fighters, okay? If you can do that for me, I would truly appreciate it. I mean, what are we talking about here? I'm supposed to respect someone who is saying that we should listen to a live stream about running when you have other combat sports where fighters are allowed to move and they're not entertaining this conversation. But here we go again. Boxing is up here doing the two-step once again. Boxing is showing you that used toilet paper, you too can wipe your ass with the same shit that boxing's been wiping their ass with for decades. Because they're going to try to convince you this is some new criteria that you need to know. But when a fighter is not running, and when they're putting their punches together, when they're trying their best to entertain the crowd, we need a little bit more knockout power. But they're dominating the fight. I know, man, but You know, I mean, real talk, I would have liked it the other guy won. I just don't see enough of this guy right here. You know, the media can make a person very, very popular, or they can pretty much place firewalls up, restrict them from being that way. It happens a lot over here on social media. It happens a lot. But when you talk about the running factor being spoken on as if it's a serious subject matter, it's just absurd. You hear me? It's absolutely preposterous. Please don't do your herd bidding by mongering in the chat. You know, typing and typing and typing and hyping. Typing and hyping. Everything you hear, oh yeah, they're right there, running. And they start naming boxers who run. But if you was to get in the ring with any of these fighters and they say, hey, this is a pretty big size ring, move around as you may, I guarantee you your ass would be totally facing the opposite direction after receiving a couple body shots, and you will be running to get out that ring. So did you want to continue to talk about running? No, I get it now. I get it. Do y'all have some Gatorade? I just need some power. Y'all got a Red Bull. I understand why y'all move around. It's called moving around. Yeah. Yeah, that should stay the same. I mean, just put some of these big mouths in the ring and take some of those body shots. I guarantee you they will show you that they should be on the Olympic track team for boxers. They should be the new sponsors, the new faces of these sponsors of the Olympic track and field boxing team. Put them on there. Put those those individuals that want to talk about running. Like now you're supposed to restrict. No. Why don't you do this? Why don't you just put a 10 by 10 foot ring in there and we don't have to come up with these dumbass topics. Put a small ass ring in there for every freaking fight. Put a small ring in there. Put a 10 by 10. Okay? Put a 10 by 10 and shut the F up. They're not even mentioning ring sizes. I've seen Jahi go in there and fight in some rings that wasn't that big. And goddamn it, some fights ain't made for the phone booth. Ooh, god damn, talking about going to the rib shack. You know, I mean, they talk about Jahi don't have power, but Nico, he hasn't been back in the ring since that fight. I don't know if they removed his rib cage and he's a rib cage transfer, recipient. He want to be the first recipient to do a rib cage transfer. I don't know, man, but I just know them elbows is pretty low trying to stop those body shots, yo. Something to think about that, Lorenzo. Something to think about, big dog. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. A shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, man. We should do it again. Another day, another time. Until then, I'm out. Peace.